Corinne's going to help me a little bit, so we're going to kind of go every other and kind of expand on it a little bit, because one-to-ones are the most important thing that we do. And so what we want is to make sure everyone's conducting them correctly. Whoops. Because no one wants to not be heard. Everyone wants to be able to tell about themselves and how to find business for each other. So we're going to go over don'ts first, because I wanted to end on a positive note. So the biggest thing is, do not ever do business at your one-to-one. What is a one-to-one for? Get to know people. And Josh has gone over this like 100 times now this year. To build relationship with one another. And we don't, I'm so sorry, Jim, right? To build, when you're building relationship, that's not doing business. Building relationship is actually getting to know one another, finding some type of common ground that you can care about that person, whether it's family or sports or whatever that you could find in common with that person. And then the biggest thing is, how can I refer you to someone else? So it's really important not to do business. Set a separate appointment and do business with one another. Because someone walks in and starts selling me at a one-to-one, it's not a one-to-one. I'm not going to count it. So it's really important to not do business. Correct?
Oh, yeah. Well, the other thing that's important is we've had them, and you probably experienced this, hopefully not very often, but where someone does all the talking and they're just talking. And then in your head, you get to the point where I want to tell them something about me, and they're just talking. And then Joe is sitting there thinking, well, doesn't she care about my business? And I'm like, no, Joe, I don't have time to care about your business. I want to tell you about mine. So really just be cognizant of the time that you spend on your one-to-one, that it's split evenly. If you want to set up a one-to-one where it's one side and then the next meeting it's the other side, Ivan Meisner says you can do that as well, but just make sure you pre-plan that ahead, because otherwise you leave that meeting, you're thinking, dang, I said hello and that's all I got out, so it's not very good.
And then it's really important, and I am so bad at this.
What?
Don't interrupt
What?
each other.
Hey, you know what? The traffic was really bad last week when I left. Oh,
No, I was trying to tell you about my daughter.
What?
So basically,
Hey,
you know,
No, go ahead.
see, right? It's so frustrating, right? So when you're talking,
Hey, Chris.
okay, enough. That's exactly how you feel in the one-to-one, isn't
Mom?
it?
No.
It's not gonna work out. But really, if you go to interrupt, like, I get it when it's going back and forth, and it should never be, just one person talking for the first part and then the second person. It should be give and take. It should be a conversation, back and forth, but let the person finish. Let them have a thought, because they're just trying to tell you about themselves, so they can get to know, you can get to know them, and you can build that trust. You're not going to refer someone unless you like, know, and trust someone. So if you like them, great, because you like their dress today, or you like the shirt tie that they had on, get Keith for his ties. That's awesome, but you really need to know someone in order to put your name out there on the line.
Oh, the other one is meet somewhere that you're not going to be distracted. So if you're going somewhere and you're meeting and everyone walks in and you're like, oh, Latasha's here, you're talking. Oh, hey, Andrew's here. Oh,
That's Spot
Jay.
Coffee.
Yeah, it is
on Main Street.
So if you meet somewhere that's not as distracting, or maybe put yourself in the corner where it's not as distracting, that's good. Or sometimes for some of us, food is distracting. So I think I've only done a few one-to-ones where we're actually ordering like a meal. It's usually maybe coffee or meeting at an office or something, because I find it a little bit less distracting than trying to cut my food and eat and talk and listen all at the same time. But
Yeah, and I mean, I'll go on a little note on that is meet it. If someone has a location of brick and mortar, if it's not distracting there, meet there. Get to know them, get to know their business. That way you have this visual of, hey, they've got 10 employees here. I need to find them some referrals, because they don't just need referrals so they eat, but 10 other people have to eat too. So that's a really good thing. So as far as like the do's are, I'm gonna let you go first on that.
I want you to send out the bio sheet beforehand, and I know there's times I don't do this either, but there's 3 sheets to the bio sheet. There's the actual bio. This is what Sam uses to announce the speakers. Tells a little bit about you. Then there's the gains worksheet, and then the other one is the last 10 customers. So it really helps if you can hand these out or give it to the person prior to the meeting. And
Email it.
Yeah, email it and have them done, and then update them on occasion, because it could really help you with some talking points during the one-to-one, and then maybe it'll be like, oh, you just did business with Paul Banis. I know Paul Banis, and then that might be a great way to build some trust and get some ideas for sharing business.
Yeah, and technically you have access to every single person's bio, gains worksheet, and the last 10 customers. If they've put them in their BNI Connect profile, super important to get that in. Because you can actually say, well, hey, did you just want to go look on my profile? Or do you want a hard copy? That's a good thing. And then here's the thing, listen, listen, listen. Don't do all the talking. Ivan Meisner, our founder, says you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them accordingly. So do listen to the other person. Try to remember, God bless you, what they actually said. That way you get to know them better and you build that relationship. We're here to build relationships. We're not here just to make money. The money comes later. The money comes. So if you don't have a relationship with each other, we can't trust you and we can't refer you out.
And then just make sure you set up enough time for your one-to-one. So give it so you have, like if you say, I only have a half hour, it's not going to probably be very productive because it takes a little bit of time. So we say about 45 minutes per side. So if you can do an hour and a half, at least on the first one, and then the subsequent ones, you can always shorten them up as you start honing in on how can we help you get business.
Absolutely. And then the biggest thing is make sure you ask them near the end, how can I refer you? How can I find referrals for you? That's the best place. Because, in 30 seconds, it's really hard to get that out. So make sure you're asking, how can I refer you? Who are you looking for? How can I bring you up in a conversation? I know I'm difficult to bring up as a category in just a normal conversation. So those are the best places to do that. So we really hope that this might help. Keep this with you. Take some notes. Something went out last Tuesday, 7 ways to get the most out of your one-to-ones from BNI on Facebook. Maybe Joe could repost that on our page. But last Tuesday they sent that out, and that's where we drew all this information from. So go out, have one-to-ones, and do them correctly.